How do artists find producers for their music? What exactly is the role of a producer when it comes to music creation? And what should you watch out for when trying to find one? If you've asked yourself questions like these, then keep watching, because today I'm going to share some tips on how to find a music producer for your next project. Let's blast off and get started. JM in your universe. Konnichiwa friends, I'm Jonathan Miller and welcome back to Jonathan Miller Music, helping you become a better indie artist. I make futuristic and outer space inspired dance pop music, and every Wednesday on this channel I'm helping others take their music to level 2. If that sounds good, consider subscribing and ringing the notification bell. If not, okay. But if you work with a producer who ends up not being right for you, or your song doesn't turn out the way you wanted, don't come crying to me. Oh, who am I kidding? You're probably just gonna watch this video and then never watch another video by me again. So I'll just settle for a like this time. Think about that. All right, now that I've taken a couple minutes of your time already, unless you cheated and watched this on double speed, in which case, LOL at my voice, let's start by defining what a producer actually is and what their role is in music creation. A music producer is defined as a person who oversees and manages the sound recording and production of a band or performer's music, which may range from recording one song to recording an entire album. A producer plays a variety of important roles, like helping an artist improve their song's lyrics or rhythms or overall arrangements. They could be responsible for finding the right musicians for a song, co-writing a song, providing coaching, etc. They also typically oversee the entire recording process through mixing and even sometimes mastering. Producers basically help bring to life the goals of the artist and their labels for their music. They can also be in charge of keeping budgets and schedules for music projects as well. So if you're someone who just makes beats, for example, and then you sell those beats to artists, and that's like your only interaction with them, then that is not a producer. Or let's say you make an instrumental and then you sell it to an artist and you're not involved in the writing or the recording or the mixing processes at all. You're also not a producer on the track. You're a composer or a beat maker, but in those examples, more times than not, you're not earning any royalties from the created work, as your payment agreement was just for the instrumental or the beat. I hope that distinction makes sense. So now that we understand what a music producer is and what it's not, let's talk about what you should be looking for when trying to find one, or while working with one on your track, and also what you should watch out for. When it comes to trying to find a producer, make sure you look for someone who specializes in your genre. Some producers are incredible jacks of all trades, like Zed, who can compose a pop smash and then go compose a beautiful classical work of art for a movie, but those tend to be few and far between. Listen to examples of songs that this producer has done before that are in your genre. Make sure it's in your genre. That's great that they can make a huge hip hop song, but that might not translate so well to jazz. How well does this producer understand mixing and audio engineering? What are their credentials? Who have they produced for in the past? Can they work remotely? For example, when I worked with my producer Peter for The Space Between, I only recorded in LA, and all the other ins and outs of it was done when I was in Oregon, via email, phone calls, texts. It was pretty much almost all done remotely. Is that something your producer is willing to do for you? I even know artists who record their own vocals at home and then send their tracks to their producers via email to get their producing done that way too. So make sure you're asking all the questions. Furthermore, while you're in the studio with them, make sure you communicate what your goals are for your songs. Do you want more ad-libs in the song and show off your voice? Do you want the lyrics to be the star of the show? Do you want to have more of like a dubstep influence? Let them know and have those conversations. Do you hate a certain lyric of your song and it's just not working in the studio? Ask for some suggestions. Remember, music producers are there to help you and bring your vision of your song to life. Even if it's a brand new experience for you, be brave and communicate what you want. That's something I wish I could have told myself. Now here's some advice on what to watch out for. This is the music industry, and if you've seen my video on scams in the music industry, you know that people can be shady. Ask the tough questions beforehand. Make sure your roles are clear before starting to work together. That way you won't get screwed out of royalties that somehow you owe them at the very end of your project. Also, watch out for producers who will do your track for free. More times than not, they're not free. Also, a music producer is a job where you will get what you pay for. There is a reason the Space Between cost me over $20,000 to produce. Now, I've landed with an album that I absolutely love, but like I said, music producing is one of those jobs where you'll get what you pay for, and if you're not paying very much, you're probably gonna not get very much back. Also, if you're showing reference tracks to your producer and they come back with an instrumental for your song that sounds nothing like what you wanted, big red flag. Not only because they don't have the skill set, but if they're coming back with something that doesn't sound like what you wanted, that's a huge sign that they're not going to listen to you and they don't have your best interests in mind. So be careful and trust your gut. Okay, John, how do we actually find a music producer? Well, luckily you live in the digital age and have a beautiful thing called the internet. Sometimes, yeah, finding producers is a word of mouth thing or networking, but not always. There are places on the internet like Fiverr, for example, where you can find some top-notch producers for your song without having to live in LA or NYC or Nashville. Be careful though and really listen to their examples. And again, remember to find someone in your genre. If you make country music, make sure you're finding a country music producer. And again, you'll get what you pay for. So don't go into these websites expecting only to spend $5. It's going to be much more than that. It'll probably be cheaper than what I paid, but that's beside the point. Also, remember to inquire with an email beforehand, just to be safe and get a feel for them. I know some artists who've found great producers this way, so it's definitely a viable option. Another thing you can do, and this isn't my personal recommendation, is to research some big name producers in your genre or your area and email them directly. Nothing's impossible and you can certainly try, but I personally don't really recommend it. And the reason being is that you'll most likely either not get a response at all, or they'll just end up telling you no because they get tons of inquiries all the time. And they probably rather work with people they know. But who knows? I've known artists to do this and it works out amazingly for them. So maybe you'll catch them out on a good day and it works out great, which is why I'm definitely including it today. Finding the right producer is an essential part of being an artist. Some people self-produce and that works out great for them. Other artists need a little help. A great music producer is like a coach, someone who hears your potential and works with you to make sure you can be the best that you can be. So do your research and your next song could be the best one you've ever made. So those are some tips on how to find a music producer for your song. Question of the video, who's your favorite producer that you've worked with in your career? Leave me a comment below letting me know. If you want to check out some more how-to guides for indie artists, I've left some links in the description so you can check them out. And if you like me and you like what I do, consider following me on Patreon like Abigail here and all these wonderful people for all sorts of fun rewards. Or consider following me on Spotify. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it and subscribe if you're new. I put out new videos every single Wednesday. Once again, I'm Jonathan Miller, and I will see you next time. See you later.
I am a machine, not a robot, not a operation electronically. My messages are magnetic vibrations, once a pioneer.